The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assures that the country has enough buffer stock of rice despite the damage left by Super Typhoon Egay in agriculture sector. The Anti-Terrorism Council designates Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Arnie Teves Jr. as a terrorist. The Senate approves a resolution condemning the illegal activities of China in the West Philippine Sea. And Ukrainian army claims its biggest advance in weeks after recapturing a village in the southeast. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of August, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met with the officials of the Department of Agriculture in Malacañang Palace to tackle strategies to ensure the rice sufficiency in the country. Nel Maribojoc reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured that the country has enough buffer stock of rice despite the damage left by Super Typhoon Egay in agriculture sector. In a video message, President Marcos said that he met with the Department of Agriculture officials on Tuesday and discussed the effects of Egay in the country's rice production and the ways to ensure a sufficient supply of rice.
Mukha naman, sa ngayon, the supply is okay. Yun lamang ay yung mga inputs pa rin ng agricultural inputs ay tinitignan natin na mabuti para tiyakin na hindi naman masyadong tataas ang presyo ng bigas.
Aside from the effects of Super Typhoon Egay, the chief executive said they also discussed the DA's preparations for the buffer stock with regard to the expected occurrence of the El Niño phenomenon.
Gagawa na kami ng schedule kung saan tayo kukuha ng production, kung saan tayo bibili dito sa local, kung kailangan mag-import, mag-import na naman tayo. Mabuti naman at sa usapan namin, nakita naman na ang pag-import natin ng bigas ay pababa naman ang pababa. Ngunit pagka may emergency na ganito, ay kailangan talaga natin tignan kung nangangailangan pa ng pag-import.
President Marcos Jr. clarified that the importation of rice has to be studied carefully. The chief executive also emphasized that the DA assured him of enough supply of rice and corn seeds and high-value crops that will be distributed to affected farmers. Nel Maribojoc, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. will file a request to remove or delist his name from the terrorist-tagged individuals. Dante Amento tells us why.
In Resolution Number 43 by the Anti-Terrorism Council or ATC, the government has designated Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. as terrorist. Among those terrorist-tagged individuals are Teves Jr.'s brother, former Governor Pride Henry Teves, and 11 other members of the alleged Teves terrorist group.
The ATC's designation is not arbitrary, but based on compelling evidence and factual incidents in accordance with the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020. We, the ATC, have found probable cause to warrant these designations, covering offenses related to committing terrorism, planning, training, preparing, and facilitating terrorist acts, recruitment and membership in a terrorist organization, as well as providing material support to terrorists.
The ATC explained the killings and harassment that occurred in Negros Oriental, such as the Pamplona massacre that killed Governor Ruel Digamo, caused widespread of fear, which was a terrorist act. Meanwhile, Congressman Teves denied all the alleged allegations over his connection with those crimes and the existence of the Teves terrorist group. Their next legal step would be to avail of the delisting process to remove his name from the terrorist individuals.
Sino namang politiko ang magsuso ng fear? Nangangampanya ka nga para mahalin ka ng tao, sabay pananakot ka.
Ang basis nyo dyan ay puro aligasyon eh. Yung basis ng Anti-Terrorism Council. Yung sinasabi lang pattern, what pattern? Na-prove na ba nila? Even probable cause yung Digamo? Na-prove na ba nila yung 2019? Yung hearing sa Senado ng mga aligasyon, puro aligasyon lang yan.
This is also the remedy his brother, Pride Henry, wants to avail. Meanwhile, the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, has frozen the assets of Teves Jr. This is the effect of the designation under the Anti-Terrorism Law of 2020.
So upon the designation of an individual or organization, it is ministerial upon the part of the Anti-Money Laundering Council to issue an ex parte order to freeze without delay the assets of the subjects in this case.
Congressman Teves, on the other hand, believes this is part of the government effort to persecute him.
Alam ko naman that they want to freeze my assets. Diba? Para hindi na ako makagalaw, hindi na lahat. Pero, syempre, hindi naman tayo pinanganak kahapon.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the government, through the Anti-Terrorism Council, or ATC, has declined to give details over their next steps against Congressman Arnolfo Teves Jr. and 12 other designated terrorist individuals. ATC Deputy Spokesperson Assistant Secretary Mico Clavano explained this is not to preempt the direction of the government's effort.
The next steps will have to be taken deliberately and purposefully. We will respectfully decline to answer what our next steps are going to be, so as not to telegraph the next moves of the government. No?
Clavano also clarified that Teves Jr. cannot be considered as a fugitive because of the law, because there is still no existing arrest warrant against him. The direct effect of the designation is the freezing of his assets. In other news, House Committee on Ethics and Privileges still has no decision if suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. will be relieved from his office as lawmaker. JP Nunez will tell us why.
As another 60-day suspension of suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. lapses, last July 30, the House Ethics and Privileges Committee conducted deliberation if they will recommend expulsion of the lawmaker. However, the committee still come up to a motion to set another deliberation schedule. Manila 6th District Representative Bienvenido Abante explains that they have to discuss further the jurisdiction of the committee, which is being questioned by the camp of Congressman Teves.
We made a motion kanina to be approved na we are going to continue on the investigation and to exhaust all means to be able to really have a real basis, no, na hindi kami pwedeng itag na violator kami ng due process, we're unconstitutional.
The committee further discussed its possible recommendation to expel Teves due to his absence in the office was pursuant to the Code of Conduct in the House rules. Meanwhile, in a press conference of Congressman Teves, he believes that the declaration of Anti-Terrorism Council declaring him as designated terrorist is a desperate move from someone in the government having self-vested interest and collusion is present in his case. He pointed out the timing of the decision of the Anti-Terrorism Council and the schedule of the deliberation of House Committee today.
Yeah, of course, gagamitin nila lahat ng kaya nilang gawin. Dahil other than meron silang minamanok, may interest sila sa distrito, ang daming may mga vested interest eh. Other than gusto nila akong patahimikin.
However, the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges denied his allegation.
There is none. In fact, we were surprised, no, na naglabas po ng resolution ng Anti-Terrorism Council. Nagkataon lang po siguro na nakaset po yung schedule ng Committee on Ethics and Privileges today. So as to the collusion, wala pong ganun.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Passengers of Light Rail Transit 1 and 2 will experience fare increase as the Department of Transportation approved petitions to raise ticket prices that would take effect starting tomorrow. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The Department of Transportation or DOTR approves the fare hike in Light Rail Transit or LRT 1 and 2, which will take effect tomorrow, August 2, meaning the 11 pesos per minimum boarding fee will increase to 13.29 pesos. In LRT 2, the 28 pesos maximum fare from Recto Station to Antipolo Station will increase to 33 pesos. While in LRT 1, the minimum fare will increase from 12 to 14 pesos and the maximum fare from 30 to 35 pesos for the stored value cards or beep cards user. According to Light Rail Manila Corporation, this is to improve the rail facilities and signaling system. Moreover, students and senior citizens can still avail the 20% discount. Meanwhile, passengers have different opinion about the matter.
Okay, basta ganda nila yung service nila, safe mag-LRT, mas mabilis. Kung okay ang serbisyo, walang problema.
Sana po hindi po matuloy para dagdag konsiderasyon po sa mga estudyante po at sa kapwang pasahero po.
Okay lang. Kahit may kotse ka, maggagas ka, mahal. Mantalang ito, napaka-safe.
Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Ukraine claimed its biggest advance in weeks after recapturing a village in the southeast. Annie Mancilio will give us the details live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Kathy. Ukraine's 35th Marine Brigade successfully recaptured a small village of Saramars in Donetsk, and stories from the soldiers describe it tougher than expected. A soldier said that the Russians were waiting for them and was greeted with anti-tank weapons and grenade launches. Another soldier said that their timing was off and the operation was supposed to only take 2 days. He added that the roads were destroyed in a way that advancing on foot was also difficult, which made it hard to move during the night. Russia has been aware of the attack for months, which gave them time to prepare the defenses and minefields. Ukraine's counteroffensive, which aims to cut off Russia's supply routes, will soon enter its third month. Ukrainian commanders have acknowledged that it has been a slow advancement, only recapturing 10 miles over the 100-mile battlefront. However, they argue that it is on purpose so that they can avoid high casualties. Back to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Annie Mancillo, reporting live from Singapore. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Thank you, Kathy. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The delivery of relief goods and other aid to Calayan Island in Cagayan is still challenging days after Typhoon Egay's devastation. In the town of Apari, fishermen who lost their livelihood are appealing for government assistance. Alan Manansala will tell us why.
Although life in Calayan Island is slowly returning to normal, providing aid to affected residents remains difficult due to harsh weather conditions, says Mayor Joseph Jong Lupis. This hinders the island's recovery and rehabilitation, making the delivery of aid also challenging. Mayor Lupis adds that many residents whose homes were damaged want to repair them, but rainfall on the island hampers the process. Transporting construction materials to Calayan is also not easy, with only 2 boats currently operating, prioritizing limited relief goods for the residents. The island also lacks electricity supply and communications remain difficult. However, the local government of Calayan Island acknowledges that they still need assistance from the national government and private sectors. For those willing to extend help, they can contact Mr. Herbert Singon, the municipal accountant of LGU Calayan, at the phone number 0929-189-5492. Meanwhile, in addition to Calayan Island, some fishermen in Barangay Punta, Apari, Cagayan are also facing difficulties. Before Typhoon Egay hit Apari, most of them lost their livelihood due to rough seas. The impact of the previous Typhoon Egay has added more hardship to their families. The Cagayan Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office reports that 64,615 farmers and fishermen were affected by the typhoon, with a total cost of damage to fisheries amounting to 539,442,500.93 pesos. However, the province of Cagayan has declared a state of calamity, which means that funds can be used by the government to provide assistance to the affected farmers and fishermen. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The price of lowland vegetables has also increased at Mega Q Mart in Quezon City due to the effect of the typhoon in the provinces. According to the vegetable vendors, most of their suppliers are still submerged in the flood and others are still having difficulties with delivering due to the bad weather. So the arrival of the vegetables is also delayed. Tomato, which used to be at 60 pesos per kilo, is now at 160 pesos. Bitter gourd or ampalaya is now priced at 180 pesos per kilo. The price of eggplant has been raised to 60 pesos per kilo, now at 140 pesos, up to 100 pesos have been added to the price per kilogram of pechay Tagalog, while sitaw or string beans is being sold at 140 pesos per kilo. If the price of lowland vegetables has doubled in Mega Q Mart, the prices of highland vegetables also increase. Chayote, which used to be 50 pesos per kilo, is now being sold at 70 pesos per kilo. Cabbage is now priced at 150 pesos per kilogram. Carrots are being sold at 300 pesos per kilo. Napa cabbage or pechay Baguio is being sold at 120 pesos per kilo. Baguio beans at 160 and white potato at 150 pesos. Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI is continuously reminding the vendors that there is still a price freeze on basic necessities in areas under a state of calamity due to the damage of Typhoon Egay. To those looking for cheap vegetables, wait for the Kadiwa on wheels, which are rotating in Metro Manila starting yesterday, July 31st until August 6th. Typhoon Falcon is now outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. As of 4 p.m. today, August 1st, the cyclone was located by the Philippine Weather Bureau Pag-asa at 835 kilometers northeast of extreme northern Luzon, packing maximum sustained winds of 175 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 215 kilometers per hour. It is moving west-northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. Tonight until the next 3 days, Zambales and Bataan will experience monsoon rains. Occasional rains will prevail over Metro Manila, Pangasinan, Pampanga, Bulacan, and Occidental Mindoro due to southwest monsoon for the same period of time. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms will also be experienced in Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Cagayan Valley, Calabarzon, the rest of Central Luzon, and the rest of Mimaropa. Pag-asa said that they are not ruling out the possibility of Falcon's intensification to a super typhoon, even if it exits PAR. Wind signal number 1 may raise in Batanes Islands. In other news, the Senate approves a resolution condemning the illegal activities of China in the West Philippine Sea. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
The Senate adopts in the plenary today a resolution strongly condemning the continued harassment of Filipino fishermen and the persistent incursions in the West Philippine Sea by the Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels. It also urges the Philippine government to take appropriate action in asserting and securing the Philippines' sovereign rights over its exclusive economic zone or EEZ and continental shelf, and to call on China to stop its illegal activities in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS and the 2016 arbitral ruling that invalidated the sweeping claims of China in the South China Sea. The first version of the resolution, which seeks to elevate the WPS issue to the United Nations General Assembly or UNGA, was removed in the title but was included in the courses of action that were recommended by lawmakers to the Philippine government in asserting the country's sovereign rights. Yesterday, a caucus was held between senators and Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo, National Security Advisor Eduardo Año, and Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner.
We never watered down the resolutions that we filed. We actually strengthened the first resolutions that we initially filed with Senator Risa.
Sa kabila ng mga fake news at kasinungalingan para mapigil ang pag-adopt, we stood firm. The fight against China's reckless behavior in the West Philippine Sea does not end here. Tuloy ang laban.
Under the resolution, the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA is expected to continue holding dialogues with the Chinese government to push for recognition and respect of the Philippines' sovereign rights over its EEZ, as well as to pursue the formulation of the Code of Conduct for the South China Sea. However, should China continue to ignore such efforts and the harassment persists, the DFA is urged to bring to the international attention China's harassment of Filipino fishermen and the Philippine EEZ and its continued violation of the Hague ruling and the UNCLOS, utilize international fora to rally multilateral support for the enforcement of the Hague ruling and raise awareness on the real situation in the West Philippine Sea, engage like-minded countries and various international organizations and meetings to call on China to respect the Hague ruling and the UNCLOS, file a resolution before the UNGA to call on China to stop its activities that harass Philippine vessels and violate the Philippines' established rights in the West Philippine Sea, and pursue other diplomatic modes as deemed appropriate and necessary. It can be recalled that Senators Alan Peter Cayetano and Amy Marcos expressed concern on the earlier proposal to elevate the issue to the UNGA, citing its geopolitical and economic repercussions. Cayetano now agrees with the resolution, saying that it is not a watered-down version, but much stronger proposal that provides leeway for the executive department in addressing the issue. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for other global news, United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is set to attend a crucial meeting in Saudi Arabia this weekend, where Ukraine and its allies will make a compelling case to countries from the global south, urging them to support Kyiv's proposals for ending the ongoing war. The primary focus of this meeting is to draw neutral countries, including Brazil and India, away from their indecisive approach toward the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Initiated by Ukraine, the meeting holds significant importance, and it is hoped that the venue in Saudi Arabia may encourage the participation of China as well. However, no official confirmation yet regarding Beijing's representation at the gathering. The peace plan proposed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in December aims to restore Ukrainian territorial integrity and security guarantees of nuclear safety, food, energy security. The initial round of talk occurs in Copenhagen in late June, attracting officials
The initial rounds of talks occurred in Copenhagen in late June, attracting officials from Brazil, India, Saudi Arabia, South America, and Turkey. While China was invited to attend, they chose not to participate. Ukraine aspires that these meetings of national security advisors will eventually lead to a crucial summit centered around Kyiv's version of the peace deal. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. Meanwhile, constant flooding on the main roads of Pampanga disturbs motorists. Many towns continue to experience road flooding with water levels ranging from 1 to 7 feet. Some motorists face trouble with their vehicles as they are forced to cross the flooded roads, especially motorcycles and light vehicles. Some find it hard to locate an alternative route. Even the Luzon North Expressway is experiencing heavy traffic in the San Simon portion of the toll plaza due to flooding at the Tulaok overpass.
Perwisyo talaga. Sa mga rider talaga.
Durog basang-basa na nga mga sapatos namin eh.
Hanggang Bewang. Banda ron hanggang Bewang eh, lalo pa kaya dito. Sabi sa amin yung taga doon, sasakay daw ng polong. Sabi sige para makauwi lang. Pagdating pala dito, hanggang dito yung pa. Kaya hindi na kami makasigo. Babalik na lang kami uli. Papuntang Tarlac.
Hindi namin alam saan kami kukuha ng pagkain, sir. Kasi wala kaming mga panghanap buhay na dahil sa tubig. Malaki po, sir. Sa trabaho, sa paggano ng pagkain, hindi mo gusto mong lumabas, hindi ka makakalabas na mahal yung mga pamasahe.
After the SIM card registration closes, the Department of Information and Communications Technology has issued a warning to the public not to sell their SIM credentials. According to the agency, these credentials can be used in scams and might put them in danger. Gladys Tuabi will tell us why.
It has been a week after the SIM registration deadline. However, some individuals still haven't registered their SIM cards. The National Telecommunications Commission has announced that unregistered SIM cards will be automatically deactivated come July 25. Even e-wallets and other online applications linked to these SIM cards will temporarily be unusable. According to the NTC, newly acquired SIM cards cannot be immediately used if they are not registered. It needs to be registered first to be activated before it can be used for calling, texting, and others. Meanwhile, the Department of Information and Communications Technology warns the public not to sell credentials of registered SIM cards as they may be used in scams.
Kung nahuli po ng mga law enforcement agencies natin na ginamit ito sa criminal activity at ang pangalan nyo po ang naririyan sa SIM card or naririyan sa bank account or sa e-wallet, kasama po kayo sa habla at kasama po kayo sa warrant of arrest dahil magiging accessory po kayo.
As of July 30, there are 113.9 million active registered SIMs in the country. This accounts for 67.83% of over 168 million active SIM cards in the country. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Abra and the Mountain Province have declared a state of calamity, while Apayao and Benguet provinces are also recommended to declare a state of calamity due to the damage left by Typhoon Egay. Grace Flores tells us why.
The state of calamity is also expected to be formally declared in the province of Benguet and Apayao due to the damage caused by the Typhoon Egay in the Cordillera region. This is following the declaration of state of calamity in the province of Abra in the Mountain Province. In the initial report received by the Office of the Civil Defense Cordillera or OCDCAR, the damage to national roads and bridges in the region has reached over 3 billion. While the damage to agriculture was over 269 million, including high-value crops, fisheries, and livestock. It is expected that a complete report from the other concerned government agencies related to the damage left by Typhoon Egay in the regions will arrive this week.
So far, meron po tayong dalawang lalawigan na nasa state of calamity po, ang probinsya ng Mountain Province at ang probinsya ng Abra. So meron tayong mga ongoing recommendations ngayon sa may probinsya ng Apayao at probinsya ng Benguet, pero hindi pa po siya officially declared.
All national roads in the Cordillera are now open, although some are still remaining one lane passable, while clearing operations continue on damaged roads according to OCD CAR. Airlifting operations are still continuing, partnering with the Philippine Air Force for the distribution of the basic needs of the affected families, especially in remote areas.
Sa mga geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas sa probinsya ng Abra at Apayao, tuloy-tuloy po yung ating mga airlifting operations na ginagawa doon. Nakapagbaba na tayo ng mga food and non-food items para sumuporta sa mga pamilya apektado ng bagyo.
In addition to this, electricity supply has been restored to most of the areas affected by the storm. Power restoration is still ongoing in several barangays in the province of Abra, while in Benguet also fully restored except some barangays including the municipality of Kibungan due to falling trees and electricity pole. In total, the confirmed deaths in the Cordillera region have reached 12, while there are 8 more individuals missing. 29 evacuation centers in the region remain open, where there are another 238 families or equivalent to 813 individuals remaining in them. Grace Flores, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The province of Bulacan has now been placed under a state of calamity due to massive flooding following the onslaught of Typhoon Egay. Nestor Torres will tell us why.
Due to the southern monsoon that has been strengthened by Typhoon Egay, 50 towns and 2 cities in Bulacan have been submerged in flood for a week. Based on the record of the Office of Civil Defense, 178 barangays, 194 families, or 727,423 individuals are affected in Bulacan, while agriculture around 80,000 hectares were damaged in addition to livestock and fisheries. According to Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando, due to the severe damage caused to the agriculture and flooding in 17 towns and cities, it is better to declare state of calamity in the province so that they can utilize the 70 million calamity fund. Many Bulacanos are hoping that aid will be provided to them and medicines will be distributed from the provincial government.
Kung meron pang darating ulit, salamat na relief ulit. Kasi mag-isang linggo na yan yung baha na yan Alipo nga po, meron na. Kaya nga po nakabota na ako.
Hanggang dibdib din. Yung papunta ron, hanggang din na yan. Tapos medyo bumaba na ngayon. Oo, gutom. Siyempre may pamilya din naghintay, makapadala ng pera, wala.
Meanwhile, the governor also called for support in their proposed flood preventive measure master plan in Congress as another long-term solution to flooding in the province.
Lalatag nating mga solution to the problem ng pagbaha ay sana'y mapakinggan at sa pamamagitan ng hinihain ng ating mga congressmen ng Bulacan, yung mga House Bill na maiayos at mabigyan ng solusyon yung pagbabaha sa Bulacan.
Nestor Torres, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones. and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God from the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 19. It says, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. And those are the reasons behind the news, August 1, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.